"Human, you're my assigned lover now," the tiny alien grinned. Alex rubbed his tired eyes as he punched in the code to his apartment door. Another long day at the space station where he worked as a maintenance technician had left him exhausted. All he wanted was to collapse on his couch, eat something quick, and fall asleep watching old sci-fi shows. The door slid open with a soft hiss. Alex stepped inside and flicked on the lights, but they only flickered weakly before stabilizing. "Great. Another thing to fix," he muttered, dropping his bag by the door. He shuffled toward the kitchen, but stopped dead in his tracks. There was someone sitting on his couch. A small figure with pale blue skin that seemed to shimmer slightly in the dim light. Large, almond-shaped eyes watched him curiously. The creature, no, she, was clearly female, with delicate features and silver-white hair that floated around her head as if underwater. Alex's heart pounded in his chest. He took a step back, reaching for the door handle. The alien smiled, revealing teeth that were just a bit too white and perfect. "Hello, human. You've been assigned a lover, and it's me," she said in perfect English, her voice musical and light. Alex stared, his mouth hanging open. "What, who, how did you get in here?" The alien stood up. She was tiny, barely reaching Alex's chest. She wore a silvery jumpsuit that hugged her slender frame. "My name is Lyra. I come from the Nexus Confederation," she said, taking a small step toward him. "Please don't be afraid. I mean you no harm." "This has to be a joke," Alex said, looking around for hidden cameras. "Did Mike from engineering put you up to this?" Lyra tilted her head, confused. "I don't know this Mike. I was sent here officially by my government. We have been watching your species for many decades. Now the time has come for formal relations." Alex's hand fumbled for his phone. "I need to call someone." "Your communication devices won't work right now," Lyra said apologetically. "My ship is creating a localized field to ensure our privacy. It's temporary, I promise." "Your ship?" Alex's voice cracked. "Yes. It's currently in orbit, cloaked from your detection systems." Lyra gestured upward. "I was transported directly into your living space." Alex sank into a chair, trying to process what was happening. "Why me? And what do you mean, assigned lover?" Lyra sat down across from him, her movements graceful and fluid. "You were carefully chosen, Alex Bennett. Your genetic profile and psychological evaluations make you an ideal candidate for the cultural exchange program. You've been studying me?" Alex felt a chill run down his spine. "Not just you specifically. We've been studying humans." Lyra's skin shifted slightly, taking on a warmer tone that matched Alex's own skin color before fading back to blue. "See? I can adapt." Alex jumped back. "How did you do that?" "My species has some abilities yours doesn't. This is minor compared to other things." Lyra tapped her temple. "I can also learn languages through limited telepathic connection. That's how I'm speaking to you now." Alex stood up and paced the small apartment. "This is insane. Aliens don't just show up in people's apartments and announce their, what? Assigned partners." "The translation may not be perfect," Lyra admitted. "In our culture, the concept combines diplomatic ally, cultural guide, and potential mate. Your language lacks a precise equivalent." "Potential mate?" Alex's voice rose an octave. "That aspect is optional," Lyra added quickly. "The program is primarily about forming bonds between our species. The Confederation believes personal connections are the foundation of lasting peace." Alex noticed strange markings on Lyra's neck when she turned her head. They were faint, like silvery scars or tattoos that caught the light at certain angles. "What are those marks?" he asked, pointing. Lyra's hand flew to her neck, covering them. "Nothing important. Just identification markings from my home world." She changed the subject quickly. Would you like to know more about the Confederation? Before Alex could press further, movement outside his window caught his attention. A black vehicle had pulled up across the street. Men in dark uniforms were getting out, scanning the area. Lyra followed his gaze and suddenly stiffened. We need to leave. Now. What? Who are they? Not everyone agrees with peaceful contact, Lyra said, her voice tight with fear. The Dominion faction believes your species should be controlled, not partnered with. The Dominion? You didn't mention them before. Lyra was already moving toward the back of the apartment. There's much I haven't told you yet. But if they catch us, you'll never get the chance to hear it. Alex hesitated, looking between Lyra and the front door. How do I know I can trust you? You don't, Lyra said simply. But those men will take you regardless of your decision about me. At least with me, you have a choice. A sharp knock came at the door, followed by a voice. Mr. Bennett? Federal agents. Open up. Lyra's eyes grew wider. Please, Alex. We have very little time. Alex made a split-second decision. There's a fire escape through my bedroom window. They rushed to the bedroom just as the knocking became pounding. Alex shoved the window open and helped Lyra out onto the metal landing. The cool night air hit his face as he climbed out after her. Down, he whispered, pointing to the ladder. They descended quickly, the metal rattling beneath their feet. As they reached the alley below, Alex heard the crash of his apartment door being broken open. This way, he said, taking Lyra's hand instinctively. Her skin was warm and smooth against his. They ran through the back alleys of the city, Alex leading them through shortcuts he knew from years of living in the area. Finally, winded and hidden between two dumpsters, they stopped to catch their breath. You saved me, Lyra said, her large eyes fixed on him with something like wonder. Don't thank me yet, Alex replied. I still don't know what I've gotten myself into. Lyra's expression grew serious. The fact that they found us so quickly means there's more at stake than I was told. What do you mean? My mission was supposed to be secret, known only to high-ranking officials in the Confederation. She touched the markings on her neck thoughtfully. Someone must have leaked information. Or maybe you were set up, Alex suggested. Lyra looked pained at the thought. I hope not. But either way, we need to contact my ship. There's a safe house where we can do that. How far? On the outskirts of the city. Can you get us there without being seen? Alex thought about it. Maybe. But I need to know more first. What exactly happens if those guys catch us? Lyra's eyes darkened. Best case. They take me for study and erase your memories of tonight. Worst case. She didn't finish the sentence. A siren wailed nearby, making them both tense. We should keep moving, Alex said, peering cautiously around the dumpster. Lyra nodded, then surprised him by reaching out to touch his face gently. Thank you for trusting me, Alex Bennett. Few humans would have done the same. Despite everything, Alex felt a strange warmth spread through him at her touch. Don't make me regret it. As they slipped back into the shadows of the alley, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that his life had just changed forever. Behind them, more black vehicles converged on his apartment building, their headlights cutting through the darkness like searching eyes. Whatever was happening was bigger than just him and this strange alien visitor. Much bigger. Alex and Lyra moved quickly through the dark streets, keeping to shadows and avoiding main roads. Every time headlights appeared, they ducked behind parked cars or pressed themselves into doorways. The night had turned cold, and Alex wished he had grabbed a jacket before fleeing his apartment. How much farther to this safe house? Alex whispered as they paused in an empty playground. His breath fogged in the night air. About 3 miles, Lyra replied, her eyes scanning the surroundings constantly. Despite her small size, she showed no signs of tiring. But we should avoid direct routes. They will be watching major streets. A helicopter thumped overhead, its searchlight sweeping across buildings nearby. Lyra's body tensed, and she pulled Alex under the cover of a plastic play structure. That's not local police, Alex said, watching the sleek black aircraft. Who are these people? Some are from my world, agents of the Dominion faction. Others are humans who work with them. Lyra's voice was tight with worry. The Dominion believes humans are valuable resources to be controlled, not partners to be respected. Resources? What does that mean? Before Lyra could answer, a black SUV with tinted windows cruised slowly past the playground. They froze, hardly daring to breathe until it disappeared around a corner. We should keep moving, Lyra said. They continued through back alleys and side streets. Alex led them through a drainage tunnel that ran under a main road, emerging in an industrial area with fewer streetlights and people. So, this assigned lover thing, Alex said as they walked between warehouses. Was that just a bad translation? Lyra's cheeks flushed a deeper blue. Partly. In my language, the term means something like, destined ally. But it includes, possibilities for deeper connection. You said I was specifically chosen. Why? Your genetic profile is particularly compatible with my species. And your psychological profile showed adaptability and open-mindedness. She glanced at him. Most humans would have called authorities immediately upon seeing me. I still might, Alex muttered, though he knew he wouldn't. They reached the fence of an abandoned factory. Lyra examined it, then pointed to a gap where the chain link had been cut. This way. Inside the vast, empty building, their footsteps echoed off concrete floors and metal walls. Moonlight streamed through broken windows, creating silver pools on the ground. We can rest here briefly, Lyra said, leading him to a corner where old wooden pallets were stacked. I need to send a signal to my ship. She removed a small device from her belt, a silver disc that fit in her palm. It glowed softly when she touched it. Is that some kind of phone? Alex asked, sitting down on a pallet. Similar function, different technology. Lyra manipulated symbols that appeared in the air above the disc. It uses quantum entanglement for instantaneous communication across any distance. Alex watched, fascinated. So your people are way ahead of us technologically? In some ways, yes. In others, humans are surprisingly advanced. She continued working with the device. Your species developed very quickly. That's one reason the Confederation is interested in alliance rather than conquest. And this other group, the Dominion, they don't feel the same way. No. The Dominion believes advanced species have the right to use less developed ones. She looked up at Alex. There has been conflict between our factions for centuries. The markings on Lyra's neck began to glow faintly as she worked, pulsing with a soft silver light. She noticed Alex staring and quickly adjusted her collar to cover them. Those marks, Alex said. They're not just identification, are they? Lyra sighed. No. They are, it's difficult to explain. They connect me to my people. All members of my species have them. They're glowing. They respond to my emotional state. She hesitated. And they help my people track me when necessary. Alex stood up. So they know where you are right now? Only if they activate the tracking function, Lyra said quickly. It's not constant. It's meant for emergencies. Like when an alien princess goes missing on a hostile planet. Alex asked pointedly. Lyra's eyes widened. How did you? I didn't. But your reaction just confirmed it. Alex crossed his arms. You're not just some random diplomat, are you? Lyra looked away. No. I am, what you might call royalty. My father leads the peaceful faction of the Confederation. I volunteered for this mission to prove that human-alien cooperation is possible. So I'm what, a political experiment? It's not like that. Lyra stood, her small frame suddenly seeming more commanding. Yes, there are political implications, but my interest in you is genuine. Your file showed someone kind, intelligent, and brave. Someone who could understand us. Alex's phone suddenly buzzed in his pocket, startling them both. He pulled it out, surprised it was working again. The signal block must have ended, Lyra said. The screen showed a message from his friend Marcos. Dude, Gov agents at your place asking questions. What did you do? Call me. Great, Alex muttered. Now my friends are involved. Lyra looked concerned. The situation is escalating faster than I anticipated. We need to reach the safe house soon. And then what happens? Then I contact my ship and explain what's happening. They can extract us if necessary. Extract us where? Into space. Alex's voice rose slightly. Possibly. It might be the safest option until diplomatic channels can be established properly. Alex ran a hand through his hair. This morning I was fixing air filters at the station. Now I'm running from secret agents with an alien princess and might be leaving Earth. This is insane. I'm sorry, Lyra said softly. I never meant to put you in danger. Her sincerity made Alex's frustration fade. It's not your fault. Not entirely, anyway. A noise from the other side of the warehouse made them both freeze. Metal scraped against concrete, a door opening. Someone's here, Alex whispered. Lyra quickly shut off her device, plunging them into darkness. She grabbed Alex's hand and pulled him behind a large piece of machinery. Flashlight beams cut through the darkness, sweeping across the factory floor. Men's voices echoed in the vast space. Spread out. The tracker shows they're in here somewhere. Lyra's hand tightened around Alex's. She looked up at him, her large eyes reflecting the distant flashlights. The marks, she whispered, touching her neck. They've activated the tracker. Your own people betrayed you? Alex asked incredulously. Or the Dominion has technology to activate our trackers, she replied. Either way, we need a new plan. The flashlights were getting closer. Alex looked around desperately and spotted a small door behind them. This way, he mouthed, pulling Lyra toward it. The door led to a narrow maintenance corridor. They hurried down it, emerging into a smaller room filled with old electrical equipment. There's another exit, Alex said, pointing to a metal door with a push bar. As they reached it, Lyra suddenly stopped, her face filled with determination. Alex, there's something you need to know, she said urgently. The real reason my people are interested in Earth. Now. Can't it wait until we're safe? If we get separated, you need to understand what's at stake. Her voice was intense. My species is dying. A genetic disease is spreading through our population. Human DNA contains the key to our survival. Before Alex could process this, the door they had come through burst open. Men in black tactical gear poured into the room, weapons raised. Don't move, one shouted. Lyra shoved Alex hard toward the exit door. Run, she yelled. Alex stumbled through the door into the night, the alarm of their pursuers ringing in his ears. He turned back just in time to see Lyra being grabbed by two men. Their eyes met for one brief moment before the door swung shut between them. Alex ran blindly through the darkness, his heart pounding in his ears. The image of Lyra being captured played over and over in his mind. He had just met her hours ago, this alien who had turned his world upside down, yet he felt sick with worry for her. After putting some distance between himself and the warehouse, Alex slowed to catch his breath. He ducked behind a dumpster and tried to think. Lyra had mentioned a safe house. If he could find it, maybe there would be help there. But he had no idea where it was. His phone buzzed again, another message from Marcos. Alex hesitated, then made a decision. He dialed his friend's number. Alex. Where are you, man? Marcos answered immediately. There are guys in suits all over your building. They're saying something about national security. Marcos, I need your help, Alex said, keeping his voice low. Can you pick me up? I'm near the old paper factory on Industrial Drive. What? Why are you? I'll explain when you get here. Please, it's important. A brief pause. Give me 15 minutes. Alex found a shadowy spot between two buildings to wait. His mind raced with questions. What had Lyra meant about her species dying? Why would human DNA help them? And most importantly, what would those men do to her? When Marcos's beat-up truck pulled up, Alex quickly jumped in. Dude, you look terrible, Marcos said, eyeing him with concern. What's going on? It's complicated, Alex replied. Can we go somewhere safe? My cousin has a cabin about an hour outside the city. No one will look for you there. As they drove, Alex wrestled with how much to tell his friend. The truth sounded insane. But he needed help. Marcos, what I'm about to tell you is going to sound crazy. Marcos glanced at him. Try me. Alex took a deep breath. I met an alien tonight. From another world. She showed up in my apartment, and now government agents, or someone pretending to be government agents, are after us both. To Alex's surprise, Marcos didn't laugh. I knew it, he said instead. I knew they were real. Where is this alien now? They captured her. Alex's voice cracked slightly. I need to help her, but I don't know how. Marcos was quiet for a moment. My cousin isn't just a cabin guy. He's into conspiracy stuff. Has connections. If anyone can help with an alien situation, it's Miguel. The cabin was small but well hidden in a wooded area far from the main road. Miguel, a stocky man with intense eyes and a wild beard, listened to Alex's story without interruption. Show me exactly where this warehouse is, he said when Alex finished, unfolding a map. Alex pointed to the location. Miguel nodded thoughtfully. There's been strange activity there for months. Silent helicopters. Unmarked vehicles. He tapped the map. And here, about 5 miles away, is what they call a weather research facility. Fenced compound. Armed guards for studying clouds? I don't think so. You think that's where they took Lyra? Alex asked. It's a good bet. Miguel pulled out a laptop. I have contacts who monitor radio chatter. Let me make some calls. While Miguel worked, Alex paced the small cabin. He couldn't get Lyra's last words out of his head. A genetic disease. Her species dying. Human DNA as their salvation. What did it all mean? The door opened, and a tall, thin man with silver-streaked hair entered. He wore a simple black turtleneck and had the same strange, faint markings on his neck that Lyra had. Alex jumped to his feet. You're like Lyra. Yes. The alien's voice was deeper than Lyra's but had the same musical quality. My name is Taryn. I am her, what you might call an uncle. Miguel stood protectively near Alex. He's from the Safe House Network. Been helping us monitor alien activity for years. You knew about aliens? Alex asked incredulously. Some of us have known for decades, Miguel replied. Not all aliens want to announce themselves to Earth. Some just observe. Others, like Taryn's people, make selective contact. Taryn moved to the center of the room. Alex Bennett. Lyra chose well. You helped her when you had every reason not to trust her. And now she's been captured, Alex said bitterly. Yes. By agents working for the Dominion. Taryn's expression darkened. They will take her to their facility for questioning. And worse. We need to rescue her, Alex insisted. Terran studied him carefully. It will be dangerous. And there is much you still don't understand about our conflict and why Earth is so important. Then tell me. Everything. Terran gestured for Alex to sit. The Nexus Confederation and the Dominion Alliance have been engaged in what your people would call a Cold War for centuries. We have different philosophies about how advanced species should interact with developing worlds. Lyra mentioned that, Alex said. The Confederation wants partnership. The Dominion wants control. Yes. But there is more at stake now. Terran touched the markings on his neck. Our species is facing extinction. A genetic disease is spreading through our population, attacking our cellular structure. It began 3 generations ago and accelerates with each new birth. And somehow humans can help? Alex asked. Your species evolved in isolation on this planet, developing unique genetic traits. Your DNA contains resilience factors we lack. Terran leaned forward. We discovered this 20 Earth years ago, when our scientists analyzed human genetic samples. You've been studying us that long? Longer. But it was only recently we confirmed that human DNA, properly integrated with ours, could halt the disease progression. Alex frowned. So you need. What? Human donors. Yes. But the process must be voluntary and harmless to humans. A small tissue sample is all that's needed. Terran's eyes grew sad. The Dominion has a different approach. They believe in harvesting what they need, regardless of the cost to humans. The implications hit Alex hard. They would experiment on people. Take what they want by force. Yes. And they have human allies willing to help, powerful people who have been promised advanced technology in exchange for test subjects. Marcos, who had been silent until now, spoke up. So this, assigned lover, program, it's to get voluntary human help. Terran nodded. The program pairs compatible individuals to build trust and cooperation. A genetic match is only part of it. The emotional bond matters too. Why? Alex asked. Because genetic integration works best with willing participants who share a connection. Terran's expression softened. Lyra believed in this approach deeply. That's why she volunteered for the mission, despite the risks. Alex remembered how Lyra had looked at him with those large, expressive eyes. Had those moments of connection been genuine or calculated? She didn't tell me any of this, he said. She was supposed to explain gradually, as trust developed. The Dominion's intervention forced her hand. Terran looked troubled. Now they have her, and they will extract what information they can about our plans. What will they do to her? Alex asked, dreading the answer. Nothing good. Terran's voice hardened. And they will use what they learn to accelerate their own agenda. Both our species are in danger now. Miguel returned from checking his computer. My contacts confirm unusual activity at the research facility. Heavy security. Something big is happening. We have to get her out, Alex said firmly. Terran studied him with new respect. It will be extremely dangerous. Why would you risk your life for someone you just met? Alex thought about it. Because she trusted me enough to come to Earth alone. Because she didn't deserve what happened to her. And because if what you're saying is true, the future of both our species might depend on it. For the first time, Terran smiled. Lyra was right about you. So how do we do this? Alex asked. I have limited resources here on Earth, Terran admitted. My ship is small, designed for observation, not combat. But I have this. He pulled out a device similar to Lyra's but larger. When activated, it projected a three-dimensional image of the research facility. This is where they're holding her. Security systems, guard patterns, everything we need to know. How do you have this information? Marcos asked suspiciously. We've been monitoring this facility since we detected Dominion energy signatures there months ago. Terran manipulated the projection. There's a way in, but the timing must be perfect. As they began planning the rescue, Alex noticed something strange. The markings on Terran's neck were glowing, just as Lyra's had when she was emotional. Your markings, Alex said, pointing. They're glowing. Terran's hand went to his neck. His expression changed to one of alarm. They've activated the tracking system, he said urgently. We need to move. Now. The cabin's lights flickered, and a low hum filled the air. What's happening? Miguel demanded. They found us, Terran said grimly. And they're coming. The cabin erupted into frantic activity. Miguel grabbed a backpack and began shoving equipment inside. Marcos peered anxiously out the window. Black SUVs coming up the road, he reported, his voice tight with fear. We need to leave now, Terran said, already moving toward the back door. My ship is hidden 2 miles from here. Ship? Marcos's eyes widened. An actual spaceship? No time to explain, Alex cut in, grabbing the map and Terran's projection device. Which way? They slipped out through the back door into the dense woods just as headlights swept across the front of the cabin. The forest was dark, with only the faint moonlight filtering through the trees to guide them. Terran moved with surprising agility, leading them along a nearly invisible path. Behind them, shouts and flashlight beams indicated their pursuers had entered the cabin and discovered it empty. They'll track us, Terran said as they hurried through the underbrush. The markings on my neck work similarly to Lyra's. Can't you deactivate them? Alex asked, ducking under a low branch. Not without specialized equipment on my ship. Terran glanced back. We must move faster. They ran through the forest, branches whipping at their faces. Miguel fell behind, his breathing labored. Go, he wheezed, waving them on. I'll distract them. Know these woods better than anyone. Before they could argue, Miguel veered off in a different direction, making deliberate noise to draw attention. Alex, Marcos, and Terran continued their desperate flight. The sounds of pursuit grew fainter as they pushed deeper into the woods. Finally, they reached a small clearing where a large boulder sat in the center. Here, Terran said, placing his hand on the rock. To Alex's amazement, the boulder shimmered and vanished, revealing a silver craft about the size of a small bus. Its surface was smooth and seamless, with no visible windows or doors. Whoa, Marcos whispered. Terran placed his palm against the ship's hull. A section slid open silently. Quickly. They climbed inside. The interior was surprisingly spacious, with curved walls and glowing panels that cast soft blue light. The door sealed behind them with a quiet hiss. Will Miguel be okay? Alex asked. Your friend knows what he's doing, Terran replied, moving to what appeared to be a control panel. He's been helping our observers for years. All this time, aliens were real and some humans knew. Marcos shook his head in disbelief. Terran manipulated symbols on the panel. The ship hummed to life. A small number. We call them allies. Like what Lyra wanted me to be, Alex said quietly. Yes. Terran's eyes met Alex's. The program Lyra was initiating goes beyond what the allies have done. True partnership between our species. The ship lifted off silently, hovering a few feet above the ground. They won't detect us, Terran explained. Our cloaking technology is superior to Earth's detection systems. Images appeared on the wall, views of the forest around them. Men in tactical gear were spreading out, searching with flashlights and what looked like advanced tracking devices. They have Dominion technology, Terran observed grimly. More evidence of collaboration. The ship rose higher, moving away from the searchers. Soon they were high above the forest, the lights of the city visible in the distance. What's the plan? Alex asked. How do we rescue Lyra? Terran brought up the three-dimensional projection of the research facility again. We cannot do this alone. I need to contact the Confederation ships in orbit. There are more ships up there. Marcos looked up, as if he could see through the ceiling into space. A small diplomatic fleet, hiding beyond your moon. They're awaiting Lyra's signal to initiate official contact with Earth's governments. Terran's expression darkened. If the Dominion has Lyra, they may force information from her that would endanger the fleet. Then we have to move quickly, Alex said. Terran nodded. The facility has a signal dampening field. I cannot contact our ships from outside. We must get in and reach Lyra. How do we do that? Asked Marcos. I have equipment that can get us past the outer security, Terran said. But once inside, we'll need to move fast. The ship changed direction, heading toward a complex of buildings surrounded by a high fence. Even from a distance, they could see armed guards patrolling the perimeter. That's it? Alex asked, studying the facility. Yes. And according to my scans, Lyra is being held in the central building. Terran handed them each small devices that looked like metallic buttons. Place these on your temples. They will create a field that makes you harder to notice, not invisible, but people's eyes will tend to slide past you. As they prepared to land in a wooded area near the facility, Terran pulled Alex aside. There's something you should know, he said in a low voice. The bond between you and Lyra, it's already forming. That's unusual this quickly. What do you mean? Our species forms connections differently than humans. Once started, these bonds run deep. Terran touched the markings on his neck. You may have noticed her markings glow when she's emotional. That's partly because of you. Alex remembered how the markings had pulsed when they were together. What does that mean? It means she's already linked to you, in a way. You might be able to sense her presence once we're close enough. Terran looked at him seriously. This connection is why the program was created. It makes the genetic exchange more successful. Alex wondered if his concern for Lyra was genuine or somehow manufactured by this alien biology. Either way, he knew he had to help her. The ship landed silently in a dense stand of trees half a mile from the facility. They exited, and the ship disappeared behind its cloaking field. Moving cautiously through the darkness, they approached the fence. Terran used a device to create a temporary opening, and they slipped through. Remember, Terran whispered, the perception filters will help, but direct attention will still reveal us. Move naturally and avoid eye contact. They made their way across the compound, staying in shadows when possible. Twice, guards walked right past them without noticing. When they reached the main building, Terran used another device to bypass the electronic lock. The door opened with a soft click. Inside, the facility looked like a high-tech research lab. White corridors stretched in several directions, with numbered doors along each hallway. Which way? Alex asked. Terran hesitated, then pointed to Alex. You should be able to sense her. The connection works both ways. Alex thought this sounded ridiculous, but he closed his eyes and tried to focus. To his surprise, he felt something, a pull toward the right corridor. This way, he said, surprised by his own certainty. They moved quickly down the hallway. The perception filters worked well. A scientist in a lab coat walked past them, glancing up briefly before returning his attention to his tablet. At the end of the corridor, they found a heavily secured door with guards posted outside. She's in there, Alex whispered. I can feel it. Terran nodded. The filters won't get us past those guards. We need a distraction. Marcos stepped forward. I've got this. Before they could stop him, he removed his perception filter and walked back down the corridor, then deliberately knocked over a cart of equipment. The crash echoed through the building. The guards immediately ran toward the sound, weapons drawn. Terran quickly worked on the door lock. It slid open, revealing a large laboratory. In the center, Lyra lay on an examination table, restrained by metal bands. Multiple sensors were attached to her body, and the markings on her neck glowed brightly. Alex rushed to her side. Her eyes fluttered open when he touched her arm. "Alex," she whispered, disbelief in her voice. "You came for me?" "Of course I did," he replied, his heart pounding at the sight of her pale blue skin now marred with bruises. Taryn worked quickly to release the restraints while Alex helped Lyra sit up. "They know everything," she said urgently. "About the fleet, the program, everything. They forced it from my mind." "We need to warn the ships," Taryn said grimly. An alarm suddenly blared throughout the facility. Red lights flashed in the corridor. "They've discovered us," Taryn said. "We need to reach the roof. My emergency beacon can signal the fleet from there." Lyra's legs wobbled when she tried to stand. Alex swept her up in his arms without hesitation. She was surprisingly light. "Which way?" he asked. "Left at the end of this corridor, then up the stairs," Taryn replied, checking the hallway. "Quickly now." They ran, the alarm growing louder. Behind them, shouts indicated pursuit. Marcos rejoined them, his face flushed with exertion. "They're right behind me," he gasped. They reached the stairwell and climbed rapidly, Alex carrying Lyra despite his burning muscles. 3 flights up, they burst onto the roof. The night air was cold. Floodlights around the perimeter of the facility had activated, bathing the compound in harsh white light. In the distance, they could hear helicopters approaching. Taryn pulled out a small silver sphere and twisted it. It began to pulse with bright light. "The signal is sent," he said. "Now we wait. The ships will respond." "How long?" Alex asked, setting Lyra gently on her feet but keeping an arm around her waist for support. "Minutes, if they're in position." The roof access door burst open. Men with weapons poured out, surrounding them. One stepped forward, a tall man in an expensive suit. "That's far enough," he said coldly. "You've caused quite enough trouble." "Director Hayes," Taryn acknowledged. "I see the Dominion pays well for human cooperation." The man smiled thinly. "They understand the principle of mutual benefit, unlike your faction with its sentimental notions of partnership." Hayes turned his attention to Lyra. "Princess, your father will be disappointed to learn of your failure. The Dominion already has ships approaching Earth. Your little program is finished before it began." "It's not over," Lyra said defiantly. "Humans will resist your harvesting operations once they learn the truth." "Will they?" Hayes looked amused. "Most humans will believe whatever their leaders tell them. A few disappearances will hardly be noticed." Alex stepped forward. "You're selling out your own species." "I'm ensuring humanity gets the best deal possible," Hayes countered. "Technology beyond your imagination in exchange for some genetic material. It's simple economics." The sound of helicopters grew louder. Spotlights swept across the roof. "Your rescue attempt has failed," Hayes said. "Now, shall we continue our research?" Suddenly, the night sky lit up with brilliant blue light. Everyone looked up to see massive ships appearing overhead, their cloaking fields dissolving to reveal sleek vessels that dwarfed the facility below. "The Confederation fleet," Lyra breathed, her face filled with hope. The helicopters veered away, clearly outmatched. Hayes's expression shifted from confidence to uncertainty. "This changes nothing," he insisted. "The Dominion forces are already on their way." "Yes," Taryn agreed. "But now Earth's people will see the truth and make their own choice." A beam of light shot down from the largest ship, enveloping the small group. Alex felt a tingling sensation as his feet left the roof. As they rose toward the waiting ship, Lyra turned to Alex, her large eyes fixed on his. "I'm sorry for all the secrets," she said softly. "The assignment program was real, but I never expected to feel this connection so quickly." The markings on her neck glowed brightly, pulsing in rhythm with his heartbeat. "What happens now?" Alex asked as the facility grew smaller below them. Now, Lyra said, taking his hand, we become true allies, if you're willing. Your world stands at a crossroads. Will you help us show them the right path? Alex looked down at their joined hands, one human, one alien, and then back at Lyra's hopeful face. Yes, he said simply. I will. As they ascended into the ship above, Alex knew his life had changed forever. Whatever came next, diplomatic negotiations, conflict with the Dominion, or the beginning of a new partnership between their species, he and Lyra would face it together. The assignment had become a choice. And he had made his.